Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Comedy this hour with George Burns and Gracie Allen as we go back 71 years to March 1st, 1950, as it's time to prepare the old income taxes, and you didn't have TurboTax or any of those other nice things to help back then. Anyway, we thank you for joining us on this Tuesday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. It is the first day of March, brand new month, 60th day of the year, and we have 305 days remaining until we get to 2023. Georgiana, Massachusetts became the first incorporated city in the U.S. on this date in 1642. It is now York, Maine. The Salem witch trials began in Salem Village, Massachusetts in 1692. The Continental Congress adopted the Articles of Confederation in 1781. The first U.S. Census authorized in 1790, and in 1803, Ohio admitted as the 17th state of the Union. Justice Samuel Chase acquitted at the end of his impeachment trial by the U.S. Senate in 1805. A convention of delegates from 57 Texas communities convened in Washington on the Brazos, Texas, to deliberate independence from Mexico. President John Tyler signed a bill authorizing the U.S. to annex the Republic of Texas in 1845. In 1867, Nebraska became the 37th state of the Union, and the community of Lancaster, Nebraska, was renamed Lincoln, and that became the state capital. Yellowstone National Park, established on this date in 1872 as the world's first national park. E. Remington and Sons in Ilion, New York, started production of the first practical typewriter in 1873. And in 1873, Henry Comstock discovered the Comstock lode in Virginia City, Nevada. That's something we've talked about here on the Nevada Talk Network a few times. Albert Berry made the first parachute jump from a moving airplane on this date in 1912. Of course, making a parachute jump from a not moving airplane, that would be not difficult. The son of famed aviator Charles Lindbergh, Charles Augustus Lindbergh III, kidnapped on this date in 1932. A ransom was paid, the body of the baby found 10 weeks later, just 4 miles from home. It would be over 6 months later before the kidnapper would be captured.
Every piece of evidence available leads up the same avenue, and that avenue leads right straight to Bruno Richard Hauptmann and Hauptmann alone.
Bruno Hauptmann would be convicted of the kidnapping and executed in April of 1936 at the age of 36. Hoover Dam completed on this date in 1936, bringing water to the desert. Ripley's Believe It or Not debuted on television on this date in 1949. Joseph Stalin had a stroke on this date in 1953, collapsed and died 4 days later. In 1954, Puerto Rican nationalists attacked the Capitol building, injuring 5 representatives. In 1955, Allen Fieldhouse at the University of Kansas hosted its first college basketball game. And in 1961, President Kennedy established the Peace Corps.
I have today signed an executive order providing for the establishment of a Peace Corps on a temporary pilot basis. I'm also sending to Congress a message proposing authorization of a permanent Peace Corps. This Corps will be a pool of trained men and women sent overseas by the United States government or through private institutions and organizations to help foreign countries meet their urgent needs for skilled manpower.
Since its inception, more than 235,000 Americans have joined the Peace Corps and served in 141 countries. A bomb exploded in a men's room in the U.S. Capitol on this date in 1971. The Weather Underground claimed responsibility. On this date in 1974, 7 people indicted for their role in the Watergate break-in and charged with conspiracy to obstruct justice. The Swatch was introduced on this date in 1983. Those interesting watches that look cheap and cost a lot of money. U.S. became a member of the Berne Copyright Treaty Convention on this date in 1989. And in 2003, the management of the Customs Service and the Secret Service were moved to the Department of Homeland Security. It was on this date in 2004, Terry Nichols, convicted of state murder charges and being an accomplice to Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh. The first confirmed case of bird flu in Switzerland, dead swan on Lake Geneva near the city of Geneva in 2006. And in 2007, Major General George Whiteman, the man in charge of Walter Reed Army Medical Center since August, relieved of duties because top Army officials, quote, had lost trust and confidence in the command's leadership. Among them, Missouri Senator Claire McCaskill.
This isn't about paint on the walls. This isn't about fixing holes in the ceiling. This is about a system that is not designed to make it easy for the wounded to get what they deserve.
Pressure had been mounting for some accountability for the deplorable conditions and administrative roadblocks many of the outpatients faced at Walter Reed. Among those passing on this date in history, actor Jackie Coogan, comedian actor Joe Besser, politician and author Harry Brown, also Andrew Breitbart, Jewel Akins, the birds and the bees, and from One Day at a Time, Bonnie Franklin, all those folks passing away on this date. Frederick Chopin, born on this date, as was band leader Glenn Miller, actor David Niven, Catholic Archbishop Terence Cardinal Cook, Prime Minister of Israel Yitzhak Rabin, from the Wild Wild West, Robert Conrad, and Alan Thicke, all born on this date in history. Happy birthday number 96 to a Holocaust survivor who, ironically, was a big part of Hogan's Heroes. LeBeau, Robert Clary, 96 years of age today. Actor Harry Belafonte, musician also 95. Deo! The Who's Roger Daltrey is 78. From the A-Team, Dirk Benedict is 77. From Diamonds Are Forever, Lana Wood, 76. Daisy Duke and the Dukes of Hazzard, Catherine Bach is 68. Opie from The Andy Griffith Show, and Richie Cunningham from Happy Days. Ron Howard, also director-producer, 68 years old today. From Wings, Tim Daly is 66. Booker T, five-time, I forget what his gimmick was. Can You Dig It? Booker T, 57, do a spinneroonie for the Booker. CSI's George Eads is 54. He was Zach from Saved by the Bell. Mark Paul Gosselaar is 48. From Mad Men and Stranger Things, Carabuno is 48. From Days of Our Lives and Supernatural, Jensen Ackles is 45. From 12 Years a Slave, Lupita Nyong'o, 39. From the WWE, Big E. Langston, criminally underused at 36. Singer-songwriter Keisha is 35. Impact's Wrestling's Tennille Dashwood, another situation of somebody being criminally underused in the WWE and finding life outside of the World Wrestling Entertainment and Vince McMahon's playground. Tennille Dashwood, 33 today. Justin Bieber, who is 28, and from Criminal Minds in the Middle, Ava Allen is 22. Though some of the people celebrating birthdays on this first day of March, this is your birthday.
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
And from 71 years ago, George Burns and Gracie Allen from March 1st, 1950, on this Tuesday, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just two of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
The Overstock sale continues at MyPillow.com. Deep discounts on Giza Dream Sheets, MyPillow original pillows, the My Slippers, half price. I love mine. And with every order you make by going to MyPillow.com/radio specials, you'll get a free copy of Mike Lindell's book, What Are the Odds? From Crack Addict to CEO. MyPillow.com/radio specials, promo code USA. Recently here in Nevada on my morning show, I commented about the very first George Burns and Gracie Allen show airing, and I gave a recommendation, a book review. And the book is Gracie, A Love Story, written by George Burns. Find the book. It's out there. It is more than worth your time to read. And now, George Burns and Gracie Allen from 71 years ago, March 1st, 1950.
Well, last night, George took Gracie to the ballet, and it's an evening he'll never forget. But he'd like to. To Gracie, it was a new and exciting experience, and she's still thrilled about it.
Oh, gee, everybody was there. Did you notice Bob Taylor and Barbara Stanwyck sitting in front of us?
Yeah, that Barbara Stanwyck certainly is gorgeous.
Oh, I'll say. Those actors really marry beautiful women, don't you, George?
Yes, that we do.
During intermission, there was some very exciting gossip in the powder room.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Harris said, I wonder why Sarah Treadwell didn't come to the ballet. So I said, well, maybe she had a fight with her husband. And she said, oh, not Sarah. And I said, well, I don't blame her if he's running around with another woman. And so she said, poor Sarah, who'll take care of their 5 children? And I said, well, not that no-good husband of hers.
Oh, that sounds real exciting.
Yes. It would be even more exciting if I knew who Sarah Treadwell was.
You don't know Sarah Treadwell?
I don't even know Mrs. Harris.
Interesting yarn. What did you think of the ballet?
Oh, I loved it. Although you dozed off a couple of times.
I ate too much dinner. Pickles were delicious.
But the dancers were so polite. They danced on their toes so they wouldn't wake you.
Well, to show my appreciation, I'll go backstage and teach them how to dance the Peabody.
Peabody? What's that?
He's a banjo player who's married to Sarah Treadwell.
Oh, no. You know, the last scene of the ballet disappointed me. Remember how that big, strong, handsome man in tights chased the beautiful ballerina?
Yeah?
He chased her around that stage like crazy. She ran and he ran. She jumped and he jumped. She flew and he flew. When he finally caught her, boom, down came the curtain. I wish he'd started chasing her 10 minutes sooner.
Well, we'll read about it in the Weller Parsons column. Honey, that was the idea of the ballet. When the fellow caught the girl, the show was over.
It's a good thing Bill Goodwin isn't a ballet dancer. The show would have been over in 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Bill is slowing up. Come in. Hello, George. Hello, Ralph. How are you? Gracie, you know Ralph Hanley. He makes out our income tax every year.
Oh, of course. How are you, Mr. Hanley?
Fine, thank you, Mrs. Burns.
George told me you were coming, so to help you, I figured out our income tax. You'll find it on the desk. The government owes us $6 million.
Mrs. Burns, how did you ever get such a figure?
Oh, no starches and plenty of exercise.
Lots of fresh air, too.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Hanley, how come we never got the $9 million I figured the government owed us last year?
They're waiting until next year, and then they'll send us the state of Texas. Ralph, have you had breakfast? Would you like Gracie to scramble some eggs?
Oh, please, George, we're out of eggs.
The grocer left a dozen yesterday.
I know, but I heard about a new thing called an egg shampoo, so I tried it. And when I shampooed the eggs, they broke.
Just fix us some coffee.
All right.
Well, Ralph, how does the tax look this year?
Oh, about the same as last. But I've been listening to you sing on the program, and we can deduct for that throat operation.
I didn't have a throat operation.
I know, but you're going to, aren't you?
Just make out the tax. When I need bad jokes, I'll send for my writer.
I was only kidding, George. By the way, I see you're getting your money from a new source this year.
Yeah, I'm still married to Gracie. Oh. You mean the sponsor, the new sponsor?
Yeah. How are they?
Oh, they're wonderful people.
I've been using that Amadent toothpaste, and it's great.
Well, thanks, Ralph.
George, if you'll give me the canceled checks and records, I'll get busy. But please, don't let Gracie help me this year. Last year when I took her to have some papers notarized, the man asked her to identify herself, so she opened her compact, looked in the mirror, and said, "Yes, it's me, all right."
Well, I'll see that she doesn't bother. Come in.
Hello, George. Is Gracie here? I'd like to speak to her.
Gracie, Harry Morton wants to see you.
I'll be right out.
Harry, this is Ralph Hanley, my income tax man.
How do you do, Mr. Morton?
What do you want to see Gracie about, Harry?
Well, tomorrow's Blanche's birthday, George, and I don't know what to get her. I thought maybe a diamond ring or a new car. By the way, Mr. Hanley, is that deductible?
No, it isn't.
I don't know what to get her. I thought maybe a handkerchief or bobby pin.
Pipe cleaners would be nice.
Hello, Harry.
Hello, Gracie.
George, I fixed some coffee for you and Mr. Hanley. You'll find it on the stove.
Thanks.
And I thought you'd like something to go with the coffee, so I made you some tea.
Good. Now we can dunk. Come on, Ralph. Let's go in the den and get started on this task.
Gracie, I'm trying to decide what to give Blanche for her birthday. Have you heard her mention anything she'd like?
No, but why don't you get her a green necklace to match the gold bracelet you gave her for Christmas?
Oh, she's got enough jewelry. Say, do you think it'd be all right if I gave Blanche a pet?
Why not? You married?
No, I mean something like a dog.
Oh, no, don't get a dog. I had one, and he couldn't even learn to run and fetch a stick. I threw that stick and brought it back between my teeth 100 times. That stupid dog just sat there and looked at me like I was crazy.
I wonder why. Yeah, you're right about the dog, Gracie. Perfume might be nice, or maybe a pretty nightgown.
Well, that's a good idea. Oh, I can just picture Blanche in a sheer black nightgown.
Me too. Well, there goes that idea. Think of something, Gracie.
Oh, I've got it. A television set. My Uncle Fred just bought a beauty for $12,500.
$12,500 for a television set?
Well, that included the bar. That's what he really wanted.
Hey, I know what I'll get. Blanche has always wanted an alligator bag. I'll surprise her with that. I'll put it in a candy box so she won't guess what it is, and when she opens it up, she'll faint. Oh, this is a wonderful idea.
Oh, it's nothing. I've got 1 million of them.
I'll be running along.
George, Harry is leaving.
Hey, Harry, before you go, the Flyers are giving a little sociable Friday night. Would you like to be my guest? There'll be some swell entertainment. Jolson, Groucho, Crosby, Hope, Benny, Cantor, Jesser.
Well, I'd love to, George, but I can't Friday. Spade Cooley is on television.
Spade Cooley, huh? I'll bring the Fryers to your house.
So long.
So long. Can you imagine a man being that stupid?
Isn't he a dope? Spade Cooley's on Saturday night.
Yeah, well, I better get back and help Ralph with the tax.
Oh, George, would you ask him how much a woman can deduct for a missing husband?
Who's missing?
Uncle Joe, Aunt Clara's husband. And if the government will
Gracie,
allow her
I've
to
seen Aunt Clara. Joe isn't missing. He's hiding.
Oh, no, George, he's missing. You see, Uncle Joe's hobby was blowing glass. Every night he'd sit on the back porch blowing glass. And one night he blew... I'll read it again, huh?
Yeah.
I start... Well...
Let's take it again. Would you like to have me give you 2 beats?
No, I can... Oh, no, George, he's missing.
This is Uncle Joe.
Yes.
Yes.
You see, Uncle Joe's hobby was glass blowing.
Oh, he was a glass blower.
Every night he stood on the back porch blowing glass.
Yes.
And one night he blew a bottle around himself.
He sat on the back porch and blew a bottle around himself?
Mm-hmm. And in the morning, the milkman took him away with the empties.
Gracie, you don't believe that story, do you?
Well, why not? Lots of people have back porches.
Oh, yes, I forgot that, yes.
Oh, and poor Aunt Clara had to support herself selling homemade bread.
Well, that's not easy.
Oh, Aunt Clara's a very smart businesswoman. She didn't sell her bread the day she made it. She kept it till the next day.
Why was that?
Well, that way it was day-old bread and she could sell it cheaper.
Sounds right to me. Isn't that funny? Well, Ralph can't help Aunt Clara. He specializes in actors. He just finished Jack Benny's income tax yesterday. When Benny heard the bad news, he went down to Max Factor's and tore his hair out.
Do actors have special deductions, George?
Sure. For example, the other day, you bought stamps to answer my fan mail. That's deductible.
That's 3 cents right there.
Wait a minute, 3 cents? You told me you spent $32.03. Explain that.
Well, you know how on the way to the post office you passed Bullock?
Yeah?
I didn't.
Look, excuse me, Mrs. Burns. I can't go on with your tax until you explain some of these expenses. Now, here's an item. $50 for 10 pogo sticks. Why did you buy 10?
That's all they had.
But, Mrs. Burns, what do you want with them?
Those sticks come in very handy in case you're attacked by a pogo.
From 71 years ago, George Burns and Gracie Allen on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The news from March 1st, 1950 is next.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or if you just have a plan you're not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called MediShare. There are hundreds of thousands of members, and they love it. MediShare has a 98% customer satisfaction rating, and this is obviously huge. The typical family saves around $6,000 a year switching to MediShare. Find out more. They're great to talk to. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station. An episode this hour of George Burns and Gracie Allen, as it was originally broadcast Wednesday, March 1st, 1950. In the newspapers of that Wednesday 71 years ago, these were some of the headlines. John L. Lewis's miners and the operators meet today in another effort to settle the strike that has reduced the nation's coal stocks to less than a normal week's supply. The announcement that the two sides had agreed to resume their interrupted talks came almost simultaneously with the conclusion of the second day in the contempt trial of the United Mine Workers. The government neared the end of its argument that the union has been in contempt for refusing to obey a no-strike order issued February 11th. Chiang Kai-shek, China's generalissimo for 22 years, has returned to the presidency for the third time today, determined to lead his all-but-conquered nationalist government back to the mainland. Chang, as president and head of the Supreme Defense Council, will be commander-in-chief of the armed forces, a post he never fully relinquished even during his 13 years of retirement. Oklahoma City's now famed leopard died in his cage at 6:45 yesterday, about 15 hours after he was captured in a concentrated hunt. Julian Frazier, zoo director who led the 61-hour hunt, which finally ended in the fugitive cat's passive capture, said it's hard to say what caused his death. Secretary of State Dean Acheson said yesterday he does not condone in any way the crimes charged against Alger Hiss, but he said his Christian ethics impel him to stand by Hiss, despite the former State Department official's perjury conviction. In a dramatic statement to a Senate Appropriations Subcommittee, Acheson assured his critics had completely distorted his declaration last month that I will not turn my back on Alger Hiss, his earlier statement made on the same day that Hiss was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Meanwhile, Senator McCarthy, the Republican of Wisconsin, said yesterday Alger Hiss probably would be back to in the State Department if the decision were up to a White House aide, David Demarest Lloyd. Lloyd is case number 9 of the 81 persons McCarthy wants investigated in connection with his charges that there are or were many communists in the State Department. You can hardly blame a fellow who works hard and stays home nights the year round for seeking a bit of adventure when he's away at a convention. So it wasn't surprising that all the convention delegates cast an appraising eye when a lovely blonde ankled through the Columbus, Ohio hotel lobby. And when she passed out perfumed invitations reading, I'm in room 9. Come on up and see me, Nellie. Well, the rush to room 5 was like a tornado. What did the delegates find there? A display of granite tombstones. The idea of L.M. Knuckle, a delegate to the Convention of Monument Builders of Ohio. He operates a granite business in Nellie, Ohio. And those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Wednesday, March 1st, 1950. On your radio, George Burns and Gracie Allen, which continues now on Classic Radio Theater.
George, where's the aspirin?
You'll find 2 bottles in the bottom drawer of the desk.
Thanks.
Gracie, just what is a pogo?
I don't know. But I couldn't tell him that. He might think I was dumb.
Now he thinks you're smart.
George, do you think our tax bill will be very high this year?
Yeah, but thank goodness for the community property law.
Community property law?
That's
What's
right.
that?
Well, it's a law that says that half of everything I've got is yours and half of everything you've got is mine.
Oh? Then how come I only get 1/4 of what we make?
Well, that's the way it works out. I'll show you. Now, here in my hand, I've got $1 in change. Half of everything I've got is yours. Here's 50 cents.
Thank you.
Now, half of everything you've got is mine. How much have you got?
50 cents.
Give me $0.25. Well, you see how it works?
I see how it works. Let's do that again, and this time I'll start with $1.
Okay.
Now, half of everything I've got is yours. Here's 50 cents.
Thanks.
How does that second part go again?
Half of everything you've got is mine. How much have you got?
50 cents.
Give me $0.25. Thanks.
You were right, George. It comes out the same way each time.
Well, sure.
Now, you must get awfully discouraged being married to a woman who doesn't understand money.
Well, sometimes it comes in real handy.
From March 1st, 1950, George and Gracie on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you. And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required. Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of George Burns and Gracie Allen, March 1st, 1950.
Say, George, I've been talking to Mr. Hanley about our income tax. I said, why does the government need so much money? And he said because the government has got a $3 billion deficit.
That's right.
Well, why don't they buy a cheaper one?
They like the one with the rear view mirror.
Oh.
See, the government needs our tax money to run the country. Part of it goes to pay the salaries of the president, the cabinet, the congressmen.
George, do Republicans have to pay part of President Truman's salary?
Well, sure.
It's really rubbing it in, isn't it?
And the government needs money to run the Army and the Navy. Without soldiers and sailors, we wouldn't be safe.
I can see you've never been out with one.
And don't forget that our government is spending millions of dollars on European recovery. We send them food. That's called the ERP. And then
we ought to change that.
Change what?
The ERP. Sounds like our food gives them indigestion.
I'll talk to Sarah Treadwell. And Mrs. Harris.
I'm sorry to interrupt again, George, but these items are driving me nuts. Mrs. Burns, what is this? One wave, $110.
$110? Gracie, who gave you that wave?
Muriel Roberts. And when I waved back, I drove into a telephone pole.
Anything else you want to know, Ralph?
Yeah, give me some more aspirin.
Now, what are we talking about?
Interesting stuff, the taxes.
Well, now I'll show you how the government can save a fortune. Do away with the mint.
Do away with the mint?
Sure. Why
Just do away with it?
Yes.
Yes.
Why print money? Why not buy it ready-made?
That's an idea.
We can buy it from China. I hear their money is very cheap.
Yes, we can get some in Macy's basement.
And another way our government can save money, stop printing stamps. We don't need them anyway. My sister Bessie mails letters every day and never uses a stamp.
Then they must be returned.
But that's the idea. Bessie's crazy about the postman.
I wish Bessie would get married. Yeah. Come in.
Hi, Burns.
Oh, hello, Bill.
How are you, Bill? You still in love?
Oh, more than ever, Gracie. It was just a week ago today that I met Ann Nelson, so I went to buy her some flowers. While I was standing there waiting for them, I realized that this was the only girl for me.
She really got you, huh?
Oh, man, when did you meet this florist?
You fell in love with the florist? It's a good thing you buy your cigarettes from a machine.
Bill, what happened to Ann?
Well, certain people said that I was interested in Ann just for her money.
Who said that?
Her banker when I checked her account.
Say, Bill, do you mean to say that you walked into this florist shop and fell in love with the girl just like that?
Oh, no. There was some dialogue first. I said, hello, miss, I'd like to buy some flowers. And she said, roses are nice. And I said, fine. She said, how do you like the stems? And I said, gorgeous. And the rest of you is cute, too. And we were engaged.
Well, there's nothing like a nice long courtship.
Gee, what a sweet girl, George. She gave me a carnation for my buttonhole.
Well, now that's a silly trade. What did she do with your buttonhole?
Press it in a book.
Say, Bill,
Press it in a book.
Oh, I heard you. Bill, I'm going to ask the Mortons over for dinner tomorrow night. It's Blanche's birthday. How about you and your girl joining us?
Oh, we'd love to, Gracie.
Oh, good. I'll phone Blanche.
By the way, Bill, what's your girl's name?
Mona Knox. It used to be Ethel Knox, but the gasoline company paid her to change it.
first name used to be Asbestos, but they paid me off, too.
Asbestos Burns. Oh, I get it. Now, boys, please, there's an artist phoning.
Oh, yes.
Hello? Hello, Blanche. This is Gracie. Would you and Harry like to come over to dinner tomorrow night to celebrate your birthday?
Oh, I'd love to. I'll ask Harry and call you back.
All right. Incidentally, I helped Harry decide on your present. You'll love it.
Oh, what is it, Gracie?
Oh, I can't tell you. It's a surprise.
Oh, please.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me guess. Is it a new stove?
Well, you're so close, I might as well tell you. It's an alligator bag.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm glad you know, Blanche. He's going to put it in a candy box, and I was scared to death you might eat it.
Yeah. Well, I'll call you back, Gracie. Bye. Goodbye. Harry, Gracie just invited us over there tomorrow night for my birthday dinner.
Oh, murder. I hope Gracie doesn't bake you a cake. Remember that soggy thing she baked for George's last birthday?
Now, Harry, it wasn't her fault George's cake was soggy.
No?
No. Had so many candles he couldn't blow them out. They had to turn the hose on them.
Why don't you stop exaggerating? George isn't as old as he looks.
He couldn't be.
I've got news for you. 18 years with Gracie and Butch Jenkins would look like that. Poor George is over there right now trying to figure out his income tax. Believe me, it would be a lot easier if it weren't for Gracie.
I'll say it would. He wouldn't have any. I don't see how that schnook ever tricked Gracie into marrying him.
He didn't trick her. She wanted to get married the worst way.
Well, she did.
Aren't we clever today?
I don't care. I love Gracie. She's very sweet to give me a birthday dinner.
Yeah, I can't wait to get there. Last time I went over there to dinner, someone told Gracie that stewed chicken was the most tender. When I got there, George was trying to sober it up so he could kill it.
Well... Anyway, her cooking is a lot better than Sugar Throat's entertaining. So help me. If he sings tomorrow night, I'll slug him with my new alligator bag.
Alligator, so Gracie told you. I should have known I couldn't trust her.
Well, it's really my fault, she told me. I put the idea into her head.
Blanche, putting an idea into her head is like putting a basketball into a thimble.
Oh, hush. I'll tell her we're coming.
Hello?
Gracie, this is Blanche. We'll be there for dinner tomorrow night.
Oh, good. We'll expect you, Blanche. Oh, what kind of mince do you like? With or green or clove?
Why?
I'm making hot mince pie.
We're on a diet, Gracie. See you tomorrow night. Goodbye.
Bye. George, where did Bill go?
This girl Mona sitting out in the car. I told him to bring her in.
Oh, isn't it wonderful? At last, Bill is really in love.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't meet anybody on the way out to the car. What a guy. A new romance every week.
George, it's me again. Mrs. Burns, can you explain this item? One rubber boot for left foot, $10.
Well, what do you want explained?
Why did you buy it?
It was a bargain. I got it for half what a pair would cost.
But why did you buy one left boot?
I've only got one left foot.
Satisfied, Ralph?
Oh, sure. I'll go in and finish the income tax.
Income tax?
Yeah.
Hey, Ralph, you're going in the closet.
Oh, pardon me.
I'm a little worried about that guy. Did you notice that dazed look on his face?
Oh, that's nothing. Almost everybody I talk to has that look.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm still...
George and Gracie, I'd like you to meet my fiancée, Miss Knox. Mona, this is Mr. and Mrs. Burns.
Oh,
Bill told me all about you. He says you've been working for him for almost 10 years.
That's what Bill told you.
Yes, he says you're a wonderful announcer.
Bill, this may come as a surprise, but I'm thinking very seriously of leaving you.
George, Gracie, come here a minute. Play along with me. I'm trying to make an impression.
Oh, okay. Mona, we're all going to play along with Bill.
Gracie! Mona is not in on this.
Oh, forget it, Mona.
As I was saying, Mona, George has been announcing for me for 10 years. Is that right, boy?
Yes, sir.
Boy.
I say funny things. I'm a comedian.
And what do you do, Mrs. Burns?
Oh, I help my husband. He's one of the greatest announcers in the radio business. Has a beautiful voice.
Oh, I'd love to hear it. Won't you show me what you do, Mr. Burns?
Oh, he'll be glad to. Listen. Are you reducing tooth decay with amident ammoniated tooth? Take it, George.
Paste.
Amident tastes delightful. It leaves your teeth bright and sparkling. Your mouth feeling fresh and clean. Amident is a grand wake-up tooth.
Paste.
Amident is recommended by more dentists than any other dentifrice. Give your entire family the protection of Amident ammoniated tooth.
Would somebody hand me a glass of water, please?
Here.
Paste.
Okay, now, George, that's enough. Mona, even if it means losing you, I've got to tell the truth. George isn't the announcer. Amident's a great product, and they have the world's greatest announcer to talk about it. But I was just too modest to tell you it was me.
Yes, Mona, he's a real shy boy.
Mr. Burns, if you're not the announcer, what do you do?
Well, sit down and show her, Sugar Throat.
And if I call you Buttercup, the dandelions might eat you up. So buy a ring and change your name to mine. That's what I do.
Oh, you're the sound effects man.
Now I'm the script girl.
I've got another item here, Mrs. Burns.
Folks, I want you to meet Mr. Hanley.
How do you do, Mr. Hanley?
Oh, I'll be right in, Ralph. See you tomorrow night, Bill. And we're having the same dinner we had the last time you were here. So will you stop by the Brown Derby and ask them to send over a bottle of bourbon?
Stewed chicken again, huh?
Well, excuse me, I'll go in and see Ralph.
Hey, George, who's the guy with the loose shingle? One of Gracie's relatives?
Yeah, he's our tax man. He's trying to figure out Gracie's check stubs.
Oh, well, that explains it. Come on, Mona. So long, George.
Bye. 4 years with the Pee Wee Quartet, and she calls me a sound effects man. I love to call you Rose, dear, but roses fade away. Roses die when winter time appears. I love to call you Daisy. Oh, Daisy's oh, yeah.
I don't think Ralph Hanley should do our tax. He's too nervous. You know, he asked me why I bought 1,000 ping-pong balls, and when I told him, he seemed upset.
Well, why did you buy them?
Well, I used them instead of mothballs. They don't smell up the closet.
What, they don't kill anymore?
Oh, yes, they do. When the moths bite into them, there's nothing there, and they starve to death.
Don't let anybody steal this idea from you. I'll get it. Hello?
George, this is Harry Morton. I'm coming over to help you with your income tax.
Harry, I've got a tax man.
You had one. He just jumped out your window and he's running down the street.
Thanks, Harry. Gracie, come over here to the window. Look at Ralph Hanley running down the street.
Mine's flying, isn't it?
Yes. And do you know why?
Oh, sure. He's got to get that tax to Washington by March 15th.
Yes, that's what I meant.
From 71 years ago, March 1st, 1950, George Burns and Gracie Allen on Classic Radio Theater. Wednesday's Classic Radio Theater, a little-known show, Homicide O'Kane, starring Bud Heaston, best known as an announcer, and Dick LeGrand, best known as Mr. Peavy from the Great Gildersleeve. and that'll be interesting on our Wednesday show. Please thank our stations and support the advertisers. Their kindness and courtesy allows us to be with you each and every day. Visit my webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting, and contact me there. And tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, here on your favorite radio station.